So excited to have you all here. There's 3 organizations that have organized this event, Global Wisdom Collective, Jamia Celia Center, and Azimuth World Foundation. Today, we gather because we really wanted to hear from all of you on how things are going with knowledge preservation in your community. It is something that our organizations are very passionate about. We'll talk a little bit more about a project that we've done recently specific to intergenerational knowledge sharing within specifically the Enderoyce people. But our intention today is to talk more about the project that we've done and helping to inform what is needed with our relatives so that we can better support and hear from all of you and hopefully get some space to just be together and chat while we're here.
Greetings everyone. We have an Enderoyce elder here who came with me all the way from Kenya. I would like to invite you.
My name is Eric Malit, and I'm the chair of the umbrella organization of the Enderoyce called Enderoyce Welfare Council. So I think you know our community. Maybe those who do not know, they can also read. We are a small community around Lake Bogoria. We were dispossessed by government in 1973. So that they say they want to conserve the land more than us. They destroyed our island when we used to go during the dry season, and then during the rainy season you come to the lower side, and then the side rests, and we had water flowing from the hills. But now they cut the trees, they settle other people who want to rise. So it is a challenge, but thank God because we are there, and we thank God for friends like you. And now I want to, without wasting more time, you allow me to say how we say our blessings, the way we were told down the generations, and the way we are connected to nature. How are we connected to our lake, that's our water? How are we connected to our trees, the hills, and how was it? We had cultural controls, like saying don't cut this tree for firewood because there were very few in that biodiversity ecosystem. There were very few species, but they were very important. So that they are not depleted. They say don't burn it, don't cut it for firewood, because this was medicine and all that. And people respected that. We are a pluralistic society. We don't say me. We always refer to us, we, because without we are not there. That is our belief. We don't, there is nothing like me. It is always us. It is about us. If the sun is shedding light on all of us. If it is rain, it's on all of us. Whether you're a good man, a bad man, or a bad woman, all of us will get an equal measure. And that is the nature, how we are connected to our nature. It is a fair nature. And we are saying that help us understand that so that we may use it because it is not ours, it is for the next generation to come. It is not for us to destroy. It is not for us to use for our own selves and finish it now. Because before us there were other people. And they did the same. That's why we found those sources.
So very briefly, we'll tell you a little bit more about our organizations. I'm the founder of Global Wisdom Collective. The organization was inspired by my mother, who's a traditional Chinese medical healer. I started recording her knowledge over 10 years ago. I saw my mom rebuild herself in this country, but her medicine is what brought us a lot of financial security, but also it was being taken advantage of in terms of intellectual property, copyright, and a lot of people claiming to be experts in our medicine. So I was one of the young people that had the patience to record her and follow her around everywhere, and I grew up in her clinic. So that passion led to creating an organization just focused on encouraging youth to record their elders and their knowledge systems in whatever means that is, because it varies from person to person, community to community. But it was really going back to our life ways and not forgetting who we are.
Jamia Celia is a Kenyan non-profit, registered as non-profit, but ideally for us, we consider it as community organization. So we work with our indigenous relatives across the country, but the idea behind JAC was to react to the challenges that our people faced. Because when I was growing up, I saw my elders, like him, being vilified and being given negative press and stories when they were fighting for our rights. The resources that we have, they were reservations initially, and now they converted them to be protected areas. And when my people fought them, we got negative publicity and marginalization from the whole country. And I wanted to reverse that. So I always grew up knowing that I wanted to be either a journalist or a lawyer, just to reverse that. and JSE is behind all that. So what not to begin with this idea of preserving and transmitting our knowledge systems. There's also the increased sense to be westernized and to learn English or any other language, but not my language. So the best way to reverse that is to revitalize, preserve what we have, and move forward and make an Indoroese young person, a Maasai youth, or a Samburu or a Turkana young boy, to believe that they can be who they are without losing their self-esteem, but be proud of who they are, be proud with their origin, their cultures, and everything.
Well, speaking as the president of the Azimuth World Foundation, I have only two things I would like to underscore. First, we are proud to have believed in you. And second, we are humbled by what we've learned and gained from this partnership. Revitalize the Roots, Speak Up to Royce was transformative for your community, and we have witnessed its impact on the people. Azimuth was fortunate to have the opportunity to see how a resilient community that has faced so many challenges came together to celebrate the reconnection of generations, revitalization of culture, and the restoration of pride and belonging. And as a non-Indigenous led organization, we often default to Western paradigms. We set priorities and define strict criteria to offer our support. These two young leaders have shown us, Azimuth, just how important cultural revitalization can be in advancing the well-being and self-determination of a community. It has underscored how cultural resurgence serves as a catalyst for genuine environmental stewardship, community-driven development, cohesion, peace, and a brighter future for the youth. Cultural revitalization was not on our list of funding priorities, we spoke that earlier today, but Revitalize the Roots has changed that. This partnership has not only broadened our horizons, but has also touched our souls in ways that defy articulation. And it also meant the opportunity to be here today with you, building our capacity as allies by listening and learning. Thank you for your courage, persistence, and partnership. May your exemplary work continue to inspire others, be they ally organizations or Indigenous-led initiatives striving to safeguard their cultural heritage.
So the purpose and intention for the Revitalize the Roots initiative is to support and catalyze intergenerational knowledge sharing and support our Indigenous relatives to record their knowledge systems and safeguard it for generations to come. And so it was really founded through a joint vision that Carson and I had together, doing this recording work separately in our communities, and then realizing we needed a global movement around this that really focused on this topic. And to bring together the people that had the skill sets and the patience to meticulously sit with their elders for hours and hours on end and listen to them, listen to the stories that we've all been needing to hear for many generations, and listen to the ones that we are privileged enough to be able to have access to before it's too late. So we knew we had a sense of urgency. This idea came about a couple of years ago, and through the support of wonderful friends like Azimuth World Foundation, we were able to start a pilot project with the Endoroise peoples.
Probably there's a word that you don't understand there, Big Up to Royce. It means the people of Endoroise. Revitalize the Roots is a global initiative we co-founded with Dominica, and that we started with the Endoroise people. The idea is we paired young people with the elders. And it's a beautiful story that you will see. We paired the young generation to listen from the elders. We're losing these living libraries. Almost every 2 months, we lose some of them. And one of the elders was saying, you will see that in a short video. They were saying that even my own family do not ask me anything. And I have a lot of stories, but we told you to go to school to compete. But now we are stuck here. Nobody wants to listen to our stories. Yeah. So the idea is to fill that gap. That is this project. We built it in consultation with the elders. And so we asked them, who are these young people that you want to start this program in your small village? And who is the elder that you think that has the most precious information? Because the government tells us to learn English and Swahili, but what about my culture? Because if I don't speak my language, I will lose the traditional food, how it is prepared, my rites of passage and all that. It can be done in English.
before we even started to launch our first project, we knew very well that this was such sacred work. So one of the principles of our initiative is that the work is never translated, so the recordings are not done in English or any other language besides the indigenous tongue. It's archived within the language, again, never translated, so we avoid the issue of someone coming in curious, wanting to research and extract, and we tried to do that very intentionally from the very beginning. So the youth that we chose would have to be able to speak the indigenous language. And we focused a lot on traditional knowledge systems, focused on medicine, spirituality, traditional ecological knowledge, essentially knowledge systems that were a threat to colonialism, the ones that they didn't want you to know, because it was a threat to the capitalistic regime that they were pulling out at that time. So it is less on necessarily family drama, because that could also come up in just natural dialogue, but more on the systems that if they are lost, we would not know how to care for the earth. So we do see these archives that are being created as very vital to helping take care of the planet. And then the archive at this point, we have looked into digital and non-digital, and that is still an ongoing conversation that we would love support in continuing to have, because it has to do with intellectual property, which we need global support in doing. But at this moment, the archive that we are creating at this time for the Enda Royce people is belonging to the people. Only folks can access the archive if they're Enda Royce through their own very specific system. And so it's pretty much applying a lot of the secure principles that we wanted to model. And the intention for this project was to build an Enda Royce digital archive specifically just for the Enda Royce people, so never to be consumed by the outside world. So when it comes to questions of utilization, it's only up to that community on how they want to utilize their own traditional knowledge systems, because we believe it belongs to them, and it's not up to any of us to determine that. And so we leave it up to that community and empower them after our work is done, which is to catalyze and help provide resources for the actual recording infrastructure part to carry it on later on, and hopefully inspire the young people to want to continue doing this type of work. And as you can see, that some of them have already felt that calling.
We have our own traditional knowledge, ways of keeping this knowledge within ourselves. But most importantly, we didn't record anything sacred because of that risk. So nothing sacred is on those cameras. Mm-hmm. What is there is a part of the culture. Something that we wouldn't want to lose. So we are changing the narrative for them to also watch our grandmothers tell stories that they used to tell us before. So there was another way to get entertained by the adults in our community. So we are changing that narrative. The government has some product that they use that they've infused into the curriculum. They call it competent-based curriculum in Kenya. What they do is that they focus on these aspects of cultures so that people do not only look forward to being employed. So one way that we are contributing to government policy is doing this exactly. So there's an opportunity for people like UNESCO or the government to come on board and support it at the community level.
Yeah. This started a project a year ago, actually right after the last permanent forum, we launched the program. So since then, we've trained over 33 youth to record around 26 elders. At that time, it's been hundreds and hundreds of hours and meticulous. We thank our team on the ground for collecting all of that footage every single time and reviewing it, quality control. So this February, we had a graduation with the youth to celebrate and acknowledge what they've done with the whole community. And then we were able to adorn the elders with a shuka as a gift and to congratulate them on their knowledge. So we saw it as a gesture because it's not very common that us indigenous peoples get celebrated for having this knowledge and for spending time sharing it with other people. So we wanted that to be a very nice moment for everyone. So essentially, the project is still in effect right now. We're going to go through the next cohort, and we plan to have the project go until the beginning of next year. And so essentially what's next for Revitalize the Roots initiative, we've had a lot of learnings from this project, and our hope and intention is to be able to bring this type of work to other communities and to really understand what is vital to help our Indigenous relatives preserve our knowledge system. So that's what this forum is for, is to be able to hear from all of you where you're at, where you want to be, and what projects like this can support you with.
Tayake, Marin Tayake, Yavadora.